Hi there. My name is Mina. You can call me Coda, you can call me Mina, you can call me during business hours, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, so am I. So, I want to talk about something that I feel like a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about, and for very, very good reason. But for me personally, I wanted to make this type of content because I want to track my journey. I want to figure out how I am navigating this path, this financial path in real time, and see in which areas I need to make changes by looking through videos instead of looking through very, very sad lists of expenditures. A little bit about me. I am a recent college graduate. I just started my first big boy corporate job in August, and it was the moment that tax hit that I realized, like, oh crap, I need to start paying attention to where my money is coming from and where it's going. So that was a really big hit for me, and that's what got me into budgeting and the habit of constantly scrolling through r/personal finance. When I looked for content like this on YouTube, I found a lot of people who have already gone through that process, or a lot of people who were, instead of talking about their journey, they were giving advice or explaining some topics. And as much as I love that kind of content and I still continuously consume it, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to gain an entire library of people's different experiences, their trials, their errors, their passes and fails, so that I can even it out, see what works best for me, and apply that to my financial journey. I want to talk about my net worth at the moment. So I want to start off by talking about my relationship with money and how it's evolved over the years. And I think this is really important to talk about my background, because I think that the way that somebody was raised and taught to look at money greatly affects the way that they actually use their money when it comes in. And that's exactly what happened to me. So my mom took my brother and me, put us in a bag, and brought us over the States when I was at the ripe age of 3 years old because of, better job opportunity, better quality of life, better Wi-Fi, things as such. And I'm very grateful for that. As I started to grow up, I started to realize that we're not the richest people on the block. I would say that my mom, my brother, and me lived in around like the lower middle class area, and we weren't affluent at all. And I still have a vivid memory of me crying at a 99-cent store because my mom refused to buy me a toy. And I don't know if that was discipline, or I don't know if that was money. At least at the time I wasn't sure, but now I am very sure it was because of money. Because in the Philippines, she would tell me I used to get whatever I wanted. But now I don't get whatever I want, and I'm taxed for the things that I get. So another really big principle that stuck with me, that my mommy, I love you, Mom, kind of ingrained into me, was never be indebted to anybody else. And I think that this is still a really good principle, but I took that to the extreme when I started getting my own money, when I started being in charge of my own finances in college. I would pay for meals for my friends, which I still love to do, but at the time it's like I did that without actually having the money to show for it. Likewise I would go to events and purchase event tickets to go be with my friends rather than stopping myself and saying, you know what, I don't think that's an expense that I should be having right now. I didn't go into debt for it necessarily, but I definitely found myself with a lower amount of money in my checking account than I would have wanted. Do I regret any of it? Absolutely not. I had a great time in college. Honestly, all of those expenses, I want to say, I don't regret any of it because I got really good experiences out of it. And I still live by the same premise that I would rather pay for experiences that I can have with my friends and build these relationships rather than pay for things. I just paid for these experiences, albeit they were a little bit too much. Fast forward to now, I am out of college. All of my debts have followed me. None of them have left. I am not coming to you having built up a foundation where I'm going to continue following it, and eventually I'm going to be a millionaire, and eventually I'm going to be successful financially in all the ways that I want it to be. I'm coming to you from, well, this is my start. But let's get started with where I am now financially. In my checkings and traditional savings accounts, I have $2,000. Pretty good considering I already paid rent for this month. I have 1.8K in my 401ks. So I have a traditional and a Roth 401k. I have $230. Oh, ballin'. In my Roth IRA, and the reason why I haven't contributed to this much is because I'm contributing to my 401ks very actively. Every single paycheck, I allocate 10% of my income into my 401ks distributed between them. I have about $600 in a robo-advising savings account, and I'm using that as my emergency fund. So if anything happens, I am free to liquidate that. I do have some investments already. I have about $750 in crypto and about $250 in stocks. So I did already try doing the investing thing, and I'm actively trying it. I'm figuring out the ropes. I want to get to a point where my passive income is enough to sustain me and sustain everybody that I love. I'd rather make those mistakes now than make them later, you know? So that means that I have a total of 1K invested. This is not including my emergency fund. I have a total of $1,000 invested in like a not retirement account. I think it's pretty good. And so now I'm getting into the debts. I have 1.1K in credit card debt. This 1.1K debt comes from, admittedly, my summer. But again, I don't regret it, and I am taking active steps towards not doing that again. It actually went down. I'm like actively paying off more than I owe, decreasing the amount that I spend. But you know, there's some debt there from summer for sure. The biggest debt that I owe is my $22,000 student loan debt. It's a lot. I know that it's a lot, but I'm also very aware that it's not nearly as much as some other people have. So I feel very fortunate that I only have 22K in debt, but it's still a mountain that I'm going to have to get over. So that means that if we do all of the math, my net worth comes out to $17,500 in the negative. In the red, which is what I'm wearing right now. I have a negative net worth, which is kind of scary to say, but I actually don't think it's that bad for the position that I'm in. In August, I was actually at negative $25,000 net worth. And sheesh, dude, for 2.5 months of like still trying to figure out where my balances are going, like I think that being able to gain $8,000 net worth is like pretty solid. But that's where I am right now. I'm in the red. Overall, I just want to gain some financial freedom. Like if I lose my job today, if something really bad happened to the market today and like my money meant nothing, I could live. So I want to have that, and I want to gain financial independence from like debt. So I actually know that this net worth is going to go down within the next couple of months because I'm going to have to finance that car, and I might have to finance those Invisaligns. So we'll see where that goes. But what I want to do starting now is start building a habit in which I am actively working towards a positive net worth in the most efficient way possible. Some of the ways that I intend on doing that are actively tracking my expenses. I have already started doing this, just looking through my purchases and seeing in what areas I can cut back, recognizing some bad habits that I am continuing to foster and see where I can slowly diminish that. I already know that I don't live life the most frugal way when it comes to eating out at restaurants, buying concert tickets, buying plane tickets. I need to learn when it's a time to step back and when it is a time to treat myself. Lastly, I want to find ways to increase my income. So I'm not gonna do that just working my normal job. I'm gonna find ways. I'm gonna find things to do on the side, and I already have an entire like series planned out in my head about doing that. As most people my age, I am in the negative net worth section, but I am making a roadmap and I am actively planning towards getting out of that. And I'm hoping that, you know, y'all will come with me. If you want to see more of that, if you want to catch up on what I'm doing, what decisions I'm making financially to get out of this debt and get to a place that is more comfortable for my kind of lifestyle and for the lifestyles of the people around me, which I want to support, please press that thumbs up, that like button, and that follow. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you. Bye.